Hey guys, this is Holden from H-Bomb Fitness. Today we're going to go over some feet exercises and talk about the mechanics of the feet because I have a lot of first-hand experience with this. So now there's different types of feet. There's hyperpronators where you have really arched feet. If you can, like really arched up. You get that from wearing high heels and all that sort of stuff. You can have neutral, which is basically just the arch, got a nice good arch in there. Then you can have the flat feet like me kinda, and you overpronate. See that? I don't really have that arch right there. So, you know, there's disadvantages to kind of having hypo pronation. Let me talk to you about hypo, which is what I have. So for that, you're extending too much. Hypopronation. And what happens is you don't have that developed arch. So what that does is you collapse. So your knee should kind of be in alignment all the way up, but instead it collapses in. So what that does is your knees kind of fall with you, and then you can kind of just go down the line. Your hips, back, spine, even your neck can get a little tweaked from that. And so you can't ever solve that problem really. There actually is a new surgery called HyproCure. That's a little stent that they put right here in the calcaneus, and there's a little spot in between your tibia and your feet that they put in. Actually prevents your tibia from falling right here, so it actually stops the arch, stops that collapse like right there. And the very odd thing is I can arch my feet fine. I can put a lot of pressure on it and I won't have flat feet. It's just flat feet is genetics pretty much. Little to do with your adolescence. Maybe you wore shoes a lot and you just didn't develop the right feet. So if you do have flat feet like me, there's some stuff you can do. I kind of self-consciously arch my feet, and that's created a lot less pain for me. But here's some exercises. So first, maybe grab some good music and do this exercise. You just go up and down. And for this, you probably do like 150, 200 of these. And you'll start to get a burn pretty quick. You feel it right here up your shin bone, right up there. What this does is there's a muscle that comes right along right here, tendon, and actually brings up the arch a bit, kind of wraps it, kind of grabs it, and brings everything up. So that's one exercise. Next one, what you can do is simple. You just, if you see this from here, you just arch your feet and you want to hold it. Pretty basic. You want to make sure you get your bunion touching, get that arch, and you want to hold it. What I like to do is I kind of like to lean on my knees to kind of create that pressure as if I was standing or so. So I teach my arch to create that space with some weight bearing on it. Hold that. You'll start to feel that in there. So that's one exercise. That's probably the most important one. And then you can do standing or sitting calf raises. So you come and make sure your bunion is touching the ground. What you can do is you can grab a band and place it here on your bunion, stand up, and hold the band with resistance. So what that'll do is if your bunion is not touching the floor, that strap will fly up and hit you in the face. So that teaches you to do the calf raises, but with proper foot mechanics of every part of your toe, especially the edges, touching the ground. So you create that good arch while your bunion and the outer part and your heel are touching the ground. So I really recommend that with just a band, and place it right on your bunions and have some tension on it. When you do those, but you want to do them slow and kind of go up as high as you can. Really get that really strong flexion in your calves. All right, so you do that. So just basic calf raises, but you want to have good mechanics. Then some stretches, some Achilles tendon stretches. You know, you just grab it here and stretch back, go against a wall, and push. Basically, Achilles tendon stretches are kind of the same as calf stretches. Really emphasize that. You know, you can do a lot of like stretches, like toe stretches, just push your toes down, dorsiflexion, dorsiflexion, stretch. Really one I like to do is grab a tennis ball and put it under your arch, stand up, and just roll on it. And she feels really good. Just put a tennis ball under there and just stand on it and just move your foot around. And you kind of loosen up those tendons. Because when you have flat feet, you actually put a little more strain on this tendon right here because you don't have that arch. So it's trying to create it, but you know, your foot won't let you, so there's a lot of strain, and I can feel right here I'm pretty tender already. So you know, you want to do that. And last but not least is, once again, you want to grab this stability board, and you just want to stand on it, because what happens is, I'm not standing up right now, but if you put your foot on it, I actually, when I stand up, so right now I'm flat, if I just go on one leg, I automatically arch my foot. It's just a natural reaction. I can't balance with a flat foot. It's too hard. I naturally arch my foot, and I'm already building that strength because my body is reacting in a way that it's creating an arch, and I'm teaching my body to maintain that arch without a lot of stability. All right? So that's really good exercise. I don't know if a lot of people do that, if they, you know, if they subconsciously like arch their foot. But that's a really good technique to do and exercise. But yeah, you want to stretch out your foot, strengthen it. Unfortunately, you're not going to really find a cure, but that hypercure surgery looks promising. A lot of people actually with flat feet have a shorter tendon, so that's kind of interesting. Shorter Achilles tendon. I have it. My Achilles tendon is a little short. So what that does is, actually don't really know. No one actually really knows why people with flat feet do have a short Achilles tendon, but that seems to usually be the case. And it's interesting. I have both flat feet on my left and right foot, but I only get knee pain in my right foot opposed to my left. So that's kind of interesting. You know, a lot of biomechanics come into play. See if you can see that. I go up. I can hold that there, but you know, when I'm jumping and stuff, I can't maintain that. But while I'm walking around, I'll always walk like this with a good arch. But once I jump, it's just splat. And, you know, it just goes up your knee. Hold it, and then see how my knee, that's arched, and unarched, it kind of collapses a bit. If you see that arched, you know, there's just that minor movement. This is the knee. Actually, if you see here, my bunion is not as pronounced as it is on this left foot. So I think that's a little cause. I think I just pronate a little more on this foot than I do on this left foot right here. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, so do those exercises. Really working on that stability, stretching, putting that tennis ball under there is good. However, if you do have flat feet, I would really look into that hypercure surgery. It's actually not even really surgery. It's a simple implant, and you're actually awake when they put it in, and it's about a 15-minute procedure. And it basically just stops, has a little stent, and it just stops your tibia from falling down, and so it basically just holds it right there. Because we'll watch it go bam, bam, it just holds it right there, and you can't move it anymore. And just so that's a whole overview on the feet. You want to do those exercises. That should really help. It has helped me, especially when I'm walking. I automatically just arch my feet and walk. I think a lot of people, the problem is like, when you're running, jumping, you can't really control that arch while you're doing that. But actually, even when I'm squatting, deadlifting, all that stuff, I can maintain that arch. So it really, really, really does help. And that I'm telling you, that stability stuff really helps too. Really builds those glutes to help stabilize your hips, and it's just all really connected. So it's Holden from HMOM Fitness, and hope that tutorial on feet helped out. Have a good one.